Hey again, everybody. We are back again today with a showcase on a deck that's been just an absolute blast to play with, and that is Megidramill, where we're just really milling our opponents out and really causing havoc when they're looking for their pieces, and now they're just sitting in trash, and before they know it, they just deck out. So kudos goes to Dan and TJ for this deck, as they've really made the deck purr. I made some minor changes along the way, but the majority of the deck kind of is a shout out to them. So thank you guys for introducing this deck to me. I've had a huge blast playing this, and without further ado, let us get into it. All right, so for our eggs, we're going to be running 4 of the EX2 Digimon. Basically, when attacking once per turn, if this Digimon has Growlmon or Gallantmon or Guilmon in name, you get to draw 1. So very helpful in terms of just searching for your pieces and getting that extra draw power. With this deck, you're not swinging as much with your stack. You're sort of proccing your when digivolving effects until you get to your top end. But sometimes that swing early game can be helpful just to kind of help search for your pieces. For our rookies, we're going to start off with 4 of the EX2 Guilmon. This is your searcher for the deck. Basically, on play, you reveal top 4. After looking at top 4, you get to pick up 1 Digimon with Growlmon or Gallant in name, and then also 1 Takato as well. So potential to get 2 hits off of this search. Good cycle. Inheritable when attacking is alright. If you have a Growlmon or Gallant in name, you get to delete something with a DP of 3k or less. So not bad in terms of popping floodgates, but really here for the search. Next rookie we are playing is 4 of the EX4 Guilmon. Really just there as a Guilmon body. Its on-play effect is alright. You know, if the total number of cards in both player security stack is 20 or more, you gain Rush, which again is not bad if you're trying to do your chipset security, but you're really not winning by clearing security. Your goal is to essentially win by decking your opponent out. So really, this is here just as another Guilmon body to digivolve in the back with. And then the last level 3 we're playing is 4 of the EX3 Guilmon. On deletion, delete something with a DP of 3k or less. If nothing is deleted, then both players trash the top 2 cards of their deck. So this is where the milling begins with this Guilmon over here. Level 4s, we're going to start off with 2 Wizardmon from the promo card. When this card is trashed from your deck, you gain a memory. So most of you guys will probably remember this from your Beelzemon deck. This is here, again, mainly because we are milling so much from your deck that this can proc at times too. So I with the tamer that you'll be seeing, this can set you up for a lot of big plays. It's when attacking, you may reveal 1 purple card in your hand and return it to the top of your deck. Doesn't really show up as much, but you're really using this as like a mill memory extender in a sense. Next, we're running 4 of our EX3 Growlmon. This Growlmon on deletion is delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3k or less. Nothing gets deleted, then we both trash top 2. Again, just helping with that mill engine. It's inheritable. When attacking once per turn, you can delete one of your other Digimon to give this stack +1 security check. Again, not a bad effect if you're really trying to just go for security, but in all honesty, you know, your goal is to just mill out, so the inheritable is like not as useful. But it can show up. Admittedly, it has shown up a couple times, but again, the main reason you're doing it is to just mill. And the last level 4 we're running is 4 of EX4 Black War Growlmon. When digivolving, we both players will trash the top 2 cards of their deck. Then you can return 1 Guilmon, Growlmon, or Gallantmon in name to your hand. So kind of good for recursion, right? Because if you're kind of missing that rookie, you can just go ahead and pick it up. If you've milled enough and you're like, look, I'm missing like a level 5 or I'm missing a level 6, like, and it's in the trash, well, this is your way to kind of recur that and bring it back. So pretty good when Digivolving effect. On deletion, you can return one Guilmon or a card with Growlmon/Gallantmon in its name from your trash to hand. So again, that recursion to help bring back the pieces that you need, it's there. So a lot of support in that regard. And that rounds out our level 4s. Level 5s, we're running 4 of the EX3 War Growlmon. When Digivolving, both players will trash the top 3 cards of their deck. And then if a player has 5 or more, meaning either you or your opponent, one or the other, has 5 or more in their trash, you get to play one Guilmon or one Tocado from either hand or trash without paying the play cost. So pretty high value there, right? You know, by the time you get into this, more often than not, you've milled 5 or your opponent has milled 5. So you're getting value in terms of being able to play out a Tocado, play out another Guilmon for search or whatnot. So I really like this War Growlmon for what this deck wants to do. And then we're going to round out the level 5s with 4 Black War Growlmon from EX4. When Digivolving, once again, you trash the top 3 cards of both players' decks. Then you can choose any number of your opponent's Digimon that have a DP total of up to 3k, and then for every 10k in your trash, you can add 2k to that max deletion effect. So for example, right, if you say you Digivolve into this, you trash your 3, and there's a total of like 20 in trash, right? You can add 4k, meaning 2k twice, to your deletion effects, and delete up to 7k worth of Digimon. So not bad over there. Not bad. Moving on to our level 6s. We run 1 Chaos Gallantmon. Trash. If this is in trash, at the end of your turn, you can delete something with Gallantmon in name. And then you can play this card without paying the play cost. And then you can proc its on-play effect, which is delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 7k DP or less. And then for every 10 cards in trash, in both, so meaning that you count both players' trash, and for every 10 in those, you can add 2k DP to the maximum deletion of DP. So again, sort of like you can build up pretty quickly, and by on play, you can pretty much delete any level 6 in the game with this card here. So I only run it at a 1 of because it kind of feels bad Digivolving on top of it because you don't get any effect out of it. If you can trash this card, ideally it's just set up in trash early, and then when you get into your top end, you can be like, okay, well, boom, okay, let's get rid of your big guy. Next, we are running 3 of the BT5 Megidramill. When Digivolving, both players will trash the top 5 of their deck. And then on deletion, if you have a Tamer in play, you may play 1 level 6 Digimon with Gallantmon in its name from your hand or trash without paying its play cost. So really good for its on Digivolving effect to just trash 5. You know, the ramp that you're getting with how much you're milling going into this guy is large, right? You're potentially milling 2 from your 3, 2 from your 4, 3 from your 5, and then 5 from this guy, which just strictly just going up that chain, you've gotten rid of at least 12 cards from your opponent's deck, if you know, and counting. So you can really do a whole lot of damage with this. And then when you get deleted, you can go ahead and just recur another top end basically for free. So pretty good value with that card. We are running 1 Megidramill from EX2. Note that this card is treated as Chaos Gallantmon as well. When Digivolving, you can delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 10k DP or less. If you don't delete something, then both you and your opponent will trash the top 5 of your deck. So again, being able to either choose to delete something, if not, then you can go ahead and trash to help with that mill engine. On deletion, you can play one Guilmon and one Tocado from your hand or trash without paying the play cost. So again, with the recursion, right? If this leaves, you can go ahead and just go back into your stack and start building again. And to wrap up our Digimon, we are playing 2 Creepymon from BT8. When Digivolving, you trash the top 2 for each of your opponent's Digimon in play. So if they have a wide board, you're milling a ton. If you mill more than 4 cards, or you mill 4 or more cards, you can go ahead and play one level 5 or lower purple Digimon from your trash without paying its play cost. So it helps you kind of get back into another top end very, very quickly. And if you can imagine with just how much you're milling, there's a lot that you can do with this sort of mill loop with this deck. And then when attacking once per turn, for every 10 cards in your trash, your opponent trashes the top 3. So if you have 20 cards in trash, they mill 6. You've got 30 in trash, they mill 9. And then this Digimon gets plus 3k DP, making him probably a 14k. So really, really good for just kind of closing out games. The amount of times with this deck that I've been able to say, okay, we're going to recur level 5, go into creepy, trash a few, swing, trash the remainder, and then just pass turn for game has happened so many times. So I think creepy is a very, very good finisher for this deck. Moving on to our tamers, we're running 2 Matt. Mainly just for the memory setter. Sometimes you will be able, you do want to be able to pull back an option or pull back a Digimon if you're missing that source, so that gives you that flexibility, but really just here for the memory setter. Then we're running 2 Iron Mako from the Beelzemon starter deck. I think it's a really good card because you get to search top 4. You're probably not going to hit it, in all honesty, which is fine, right? You really just want it out there to help set up your plays because during your turn, when one of your Digimon would Digivolve into a purple Digimon, you can tap or suspend this tamer to add a card from your hand to the top of your deck. And if you imagine with how much you're milling with this deck, you can set up a lot of plays where you just keep on milling, or just set up plays where you gain memory and kind of help extend your plays that way. So I think this was a really good card and a really good addition to the deck. And then lastly, we're going to round out with 3 Tocado from EX2. During your turn, when a Digimon's deleted, you can suspend this tamer to gain a memory. And then also during your turn, if you have a Digimon with Gallant, Growlmon in its name, when it digivolves, you can gain Blitz. So also not a bad effect to have, but really helpful for that on deletion, gain a memory sort of effect. Going into our options, we have 4 Deathslinger. For multiple reasons, right? Because number 1, while it's trash from the deck, you gain a memory. So with your Iron Mako plays or with how much you're milling, there's a lot of times where this memory gain can come up pretty clutch. But also you're just constantly building your trash too, right? So if you need to get rid of a pesky body or a big body, Deathslinger is very easily achievable and you can get rid of a lot of your opponent's big bodies for a super cheap cost of 4. So I think it's a pretty good card and very helpful for what this deck wants to do. Last but not least, Rivals Barrage. Again, twofold in the sense that, if you choose to just hard play it for the 7, you just delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest level. So you can get rid of a big body. If it's milled from your deck, then it just goes to your battle area. And then delay effect is you can kind of pop it to just bring back a source or from your trash, right? So if you're missing that piece with how much you're milling, if you have a Rivals in your battle area, you can be like, okay, well, I'm going to pick it up and we're going to go into it, right? So I think Rivals is just super helpful for decks that just mill a lot but need to recycle resources from trash because you need it. So I think 2 of Rivals has been quite helpful for me, for sure, in just recurring my pieces and getting things back out. And that is the deck profile. So really, really fun deck to play. I've had a lot of fun playing this deck. A lot of fun just sort of seeing the looks on my opponent's faces and just being like, wait, what is going on? And then they're just constantly having to mill, constantly just being like, oh man, like I really needed that level 5. Well, sorry, too bad. Now it's in the trash. And then they just deck out. So I think it's a fun deck. It does take a little while to set up, which is the big drawback for it. And sometimes decks will just outpace it, right? But I think, it does have a surprisingly good matchup into decks that are very piece reliant. So, I mean, surprise, surprise. I mean, decks like Shine Greymon, Mirage, Hunters, Cross, like, they struggle against this deck because, like, with how much you're milling, sometimes they're just like, man, I really needed that, and now it's in the trash. What do I do? And you're gonna keep on milling. You're gonna keep on milling and hopefully mill more of what they need. So I've had a lot of fun with this deck. I've had an absolute blast just playing it and just doing what it wants to do, which is just mill your opponent out. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what changes you might want to make. Like I said earlier, the deck profile like photo should be at the beginning of the video as well as in the video description down below. And thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.